Thank you guys for coming back to Cobra TV, and we cover other games here on the channel. Not so much when there's Waking Titan going on, because it always pulls me out of whatever I was editing on. But one of the things that I've been wanting to start coverage on this channel is something I think a lot of us are, not really paying attention to, but in my opinion, I believe that this game is going to make a big splash in the gaming market. It is a very ambitious project, right there along as far as ambition with Star Citizen and No Man's Sky. I mean, I'm not comparing the games whatsoever, but as far as ambition goes, this game is flying right under the radar, I think, for most gamers. And I suspect that we're going to see these guys at E3. And the game I'm talking about, as you see on the title there on the video, Beyond Good and Evil 2. We are going to start a very aggressive campaign covering this game. As long as Waking Titan lets me, as long as No Man's Sky lets me. So what this video is going to serve as is it's a full feature rundown, and big shout out to I want to give a shout out to the gentleman who posted this. So let me go on back over to the let's see, who is this posted by? This is posted by Legion495 over on the Beyond Good and Evil 2 official forums. Now, he's listed a lot of his sources. A lot of this stuff was mentioned in interviews and things like that in articles. So let's go ahead and dig into some of these details. Now, after this video, once we give some of these details, we're going to drill down on some of these details, some of these things that are being discussed here, and we're going to do full feature, closer look at certain categories, like how big are the planets, what is there going to be on the planets, how many cities, what's the city of Ganesh, what's there to do in it, is there, like underground, poor, crime-ridden areas? And the answer to that is yes. And what is the game about, what's the setting, what are you going to be doing in it, multiplayer, character customization. So we're going to do separate videos on all those topics. But right now, for this first video, as an introduction to the aggressive campaign that I'm going to be doing here with Beyond Good and Evil 2, we're just going to do a quick rundown on some of the features that Legion495 has listed here for us. So big shout out to you, Legion. This is very handy, and I've got a lot of this stuff on my notepad that I've learned myself, but this is a heck of a lot more organized than what I've got. So we're going to go with Legion495's post here. So he does update this periodically as either information changes or new information arises. So first of all, he's got Beyond Good and Evil 2 is it online only. So he says here, first of all, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a single-player game. Many get confused by the seamless multiplayer feature. At this point, we are able to compare this feature to the function like Watch Dogs gives us, with players coming into your world. And BGE and Beyond Good and Evil 2, we will probably see a improved version. The feature exists to have the option to roam around with friends, and everyone is able to do their own thing or split work or work together. All about freedom like Ansel wants it. So that's good. So it's a single player game for anybody, so it's not like there's going to be a lot of griefing. It has a lot in common with Grand Theft Auto 5 as far as, going down into these cities and jacking people's spaceships and stealing people's tuk-tuks, or whatever you call them. We'll get into that. So you could steal stuff, it's like GTA in that fashion, and there's going to be police that'll come after you. So it's GTA in that fashion, but it's not going to be like open world where people could come and just kill you. As far as multiplayer is concerned, you can have, I think, up to, so far, the last I've heard is 4 people in one game in a co-op fashion. So let's go to the next category here. It's called game setting. The game supposedly takes place around 50 years before the original Beyond Good and Evil. Now, this is a different take on Beyond Good and Evil. It's the same universe. It's the same, the reasoning for being in this story, but it's a different approach. It's a much more, now the technology has advanced, they're able to do what they wanted to do the first time around. Game time is the 24th century, where India and China have become the global superpowers in the 22nd century. They they're working on creating human-animal hybrids for interstellar colonization. However, those hybrids are tested as slaves and are probably the lowest class in this society. The location the game will take place is System 3. System 3 is rich in resources and worlds in the habitable zone, a place full of spacefaring commerce. Also, System 4 is involved into the game to explain some history. Fled hybrid slaves work for their own freedom, which causes a growing space piracy. Even under hybrids, there are classes. Domesticated are seen as lesser. So among the hybrids, you know, they have their own, way that they look at their own, classes, so they got the domesticated ones, which they kind of look down upon. Even under hybrids, okay, so I already read that. There will be different species under hybrids, therefore we will see multiple cultures and languages. So that's really cool. The story focus is about hybrids which are fighting for their freedom to get accepted as equal. The story should feature important characters which drive the story. Ansel mentioned a similar way Zelda does. Characters from the first BGE should be somehow involved. So Jade is going to be in here. He did mention Jade was going to be in here, but not as a playable character. It remains to be seen how the game goes with story across generations. Okay, so some of the key features of Beyond Good and Evil 2. This space RPG game will be incorporating the main elements of BGE 1, such as third-person perspective, friends, combat vehicles, exploration, first-person view for photos, stealth. Also, other elements we see in games like Witcher 3, such as dialogues, quests, collectibles, and leveling. And on top of that, the co-op option. You will be able to create your own character, which will be human or hybrid. And that comes with negative and positive effects for each species. Also, side characters should be playable too. You will start as a low-life guy with a space tuk-tuk. A space tuk-tuk is like a little poor beater that you take around the city. It's like a space version of a futuristic version of a moped. You evolve yourself. You evolve yourself over time with your crew and your ship. That is why an XP system is in place. We heard stuff along the lines of selling pizza as an option to grow. So yes, one of the jobs that you could do is sell pizzas. Deliver pizzas, actually, not sell pizzas. But deliver pizzas is like one of the things that you could do to earn money and earn reputation and things like that. So you could deliver a pizza, and while you're delivering a pizza, if you have to deliver it to a mothership or something like that that's parked over top of Ganesh, you could go inside, and inside you could roam around that mothership and maybe talk to some of the NPCs that are up there. And that's where you could get a secondary mission. You might find a mission up there that is a little bit more lucrative than selling pizzas. Minor characters are random generated, therefore unique to everyone. There will be multiple solutions for quests to solve it. Actions may have consequences like disturbing supply lanes for a city. Ooh. The game is open. The game is an open world title, so it's all open world. Open star system, actually. Ability to go from character scale out into space without loading screens, possibly within seconds, and then traveling between worlds. It's compared to No Man's Sky, but emphasized that they want to focus more on a few specifically designed worlds, while still allowing some parts to be intelligently generated, like in Dwarf Fortress. So this game, how they described it, was that this is a handcrafted game aided by procedural generation. So the procedural generation there is to create the scale, but all the cities and things like that are going to be hand crafted, so that is definitely good. You can go anywhere on the planets that you want, and there's going to be things that are on that planet. Yes, there's going to be open space that's probably not going to be utilized, but it's just like that's like that with any real world, our real world. And but you're going to come across what you think might be empty, but it's going to be mountains. And and inside those mountains, you're probably going to find some hybrid monk species that is in there worshiping some fake fictitious religion, and then you're going to have the big bustling city of Ganesh, and probably definitely even more. So, let's see. Grappling gauntlet and jetpack are methods to move vertical as shown in the trailer. Mini games like card games. So I heard that there's going to be like these mini games where you can go into some of these bars and play like these card games and such things like that. That's super cool, man. Spaceship and Vehicles. Okay, seems like we start with a low-end space tuk-tuk. Okay, that's what we start with. You will be able to fly around in your spaceship, keep your small spaceship at the time you are getting a bigger one, and you could park it inside the bigger one. So you can have multiple ships. I mean, multiple ships. And when you get the big mothership, when you progress in the game, you get that big, gigantic frigate, mothership, whatever you want to call it. You could park all your ships inside there. And so that's really cool. Bigger spaceships can be considered a home or a garage of the player. Customizable, in examples like trophies and things like that. We have seen spins, loopings, and even drifts as possible maneuvers. So the mechanics for the spaceships look really great, as shown in the demonstration during, I think, the last E3. Vehicles each have 5 velocity settings, ranging from 10 to 120 kilometers for the jetpack, an hour for the jetpack. The acceleration between these is dependent on the character attributes of the vehicle. Overall speeds may range from 4 to 1 million kilometers an hour. Going into the atmospheres too fast may cause you to burn up. There will be dogfights coming, and we will get racing again. Racing is going to be in the game. Ow, man. Can you imagine racetracks on some of these planets on System 3? Be like pod racing. Oh my gosh, that would be so freaking cool. Fear of empty planets. Fear of empty planets. Okay, so here's a lot of people's concern. So Ansel assured us that he wants the planets to be alive. There will even be submarine exploration. Yes. Also, there should be active trading between cities. So there's going to be multiple cities and things like that, including people, slaves, to some extent. Also, there should be active trading. Okay, well, I already read that. Ansel mentioned that all the cities or other places of interest, quest, relevance are designed from the ground up and not procedurally generated. Ansel actually referenced Dwarf Fortress as an inspiration for generation of places. Ansel also said we have some techniques that allow us to populate the planet in a logical way. In fact, they have full control over the generation of the worlds. They use generation and handmade content. It would almost be impossible for the devs to fully make all those structures themselves, or very time-consuming at the targeted scale. So there we go. The planets are not going to be entirely empty, but I do imagine that there is going to be some void, some emptiness to some of these planets, because you would have to make it seem real. So that's something we have to look forward to, that they're really focusing on making these planets feel fun and feel very different no matter where you go on these planets. Next category here says photos about wildlife. It says yes, you will be able to take photos again. This time, however, you can share your pictures you made, and NPCs will react to those. So the NPCs will be able to look at pictures that you take, and they'll know if there's a tree in it. They'll know if there's a hybrid in it and what kind of hybrid it is. And it'll create dialogue based on the picture that you're showing them. Taking a picture will create an object with metadata, location, what's pictured, and things like that. Pictures may be shared between players in co-op to aid progression. So that's really super cool. How big is the world? So Ansel mentioned exploration will span the galaxy, as the developers want players to zip across planets from city to city and fly from planet to planet. I highly suggest, and then he goes on to say, I highly suggest you watch the first flight in-engine demo video to get a full feeling of the scale that Ansel is talking about. So, yeah. So interesting there, but again, they're not going to be making 18 quintillion planets. Instead, they're going to be making a few handcrafted planets that are massive, like probably even bigger than some of the planets in No Man's Sky. But these massive, fully detailed cities. Some of the cities like that you see in Star Citizen is what they have planned. Okay, and then the next category here says global scale effects. Space debris falling on the surface causes effects, and it does. If you go back and you watch that first in-engine demo that he talks about, which I'll link down below, you could see like how they could control how the land is changed based on you know, debris falling from space or asteroids hitting the Earth and things like that. The surface will be affected by those and therefore seem to be modified in real time. Since the game runs a whole simulated solar system, day and night cycle are natural because of this. So this is confirmed 100% fact that these planets are orbiting its star and they are in rotation. So therefore, you will be able to look up at the sky and you will be able to see the planets actually orbiting. You will be able to, you know, the day and night cycle is not from a skybox. The day and night cycle is actually from your position to the actual star in that star system. So that is really, really cool. Having a crew. We know you will be able to have a crew with the medium ship. Those people may join you or not based on your actions. Now, what he's talking about here is NPCs. So you're going to be building a crew of NPCs. Also, those people may leave you due to some actions you may perform in the future. The crew will improve your ship's statistics depending on their skills. Find good combination of crew members to staff and everything. Ansel mentioned it would be way more realistic to win crew members with, for example, a card game. So that would be cool. Side information is the next category here. It's teased numerous times that Dakini is related to Jade. The origins of Carlson and Peters are something that they want to go into. Then it says no exclusivity plan, so no consoles getting exclusive to this. I think it's going to be spread out on PS4 and Xbox. I would imagine PC, but I don't know for sure. Then it says addressing concerns of mature dialogue, because we know that you know that there was cursing in the trailer. It says it'll be characteristics of for a few characters. They want to experiment with a variety of different ones. Ansel says he considered making dialogue optionally family friendly compared to Brutal Legend. So there might be like a you know, option there to turn off the cursing for kids and things like that. Glass structures will be destructible. So yeah. So he says headlight in the trailer and police barricade colliding with the building. So like you can't. I heard Ansel talking about this. You can't just blast a building to bits, but any of the glass that's on these buildings is destructible. And the glass only so far. So a police system. Just like in GTA, and then it's Ansel actually said GTA in space. That was a quote from Ansel, so that's pretty cool. Cities are built structured, so they're not procedurally generated. Although I think they may have said something like they got a system to where they could procedurally generate a city, then go in and tweak it and handcraft it from that point on. I can't remember if I could find that. I'll link it. So upper echelons and are advertisement free and dedicated to spirituality. So you might find portions of the city that do not have advertisements whatsoever. There's no. It's a commercial free zone, and it's all like a religious for this fictitious religion that's going to be in the game. The mothership is represented by an NPC entity similar to Secundo in the first game. From Ansel's Instagram, translator from blah blah blah. We want to develop the world of BGE1, the origin of DOMs, hybrid. Okay, and then another category on here is technical stuff we know. The game runs on a so-called Voyager engine, likely due to the space probes Voyager 1 and 2. That's really cool. Planet modification effects are a thing. A full simulated solar system, no tricks, working atmosphere effects, day and night cycle, multiple biomes on a planet, planet life size. I mean, these planets are huge. And the one that we see in the in-flight demo is small compared to one of the ones that he shows that looks like it's like 50 times the size of the one that he's on. So that's cool. Why is it cool to have a planet that big? For immersion. For immersion. You're probably not going to utilize the entire planet, but it's really cool to go onto a planet, to have an objective to go to a city that's on that planet and know, hey, I'm going to the city. This planet is freaking massive. And you can go anywhere you want, but it's cool to know that when you're going to that city for that objective, it's cool to know that you're going onto a massive planet, whether you want to go off and explore it ambiently or not. So then it lists some videos down here, some interviews and things like that. And I will post this entire thread in the comment section down below. This is a really great forum for you guys to join and get involved into the conversation with a lot of these people. I can't believe that this forum's been around for a long time, and I'm so happy to be here. So big shout out to everybody that's been doing a lot of hard work over here on the BGE2 forums. There's another picture here that shows examples of some of the character customizations that you can do, and I love number 4. Number 4 looks like Mickey Rourke. I don't know if you know who that is, but it looks just like Mickey Rourke. I love the story of number 3. Number 3 is Kim Hyun-jun, used by his former masters to track and capture the mini-hybrid slaves who attempted to escape. So he was like a bounty hunter until he refused and fled. Now he's escaped. He's now an illegal runaway hybrid. He survives day to day in the Ganesh underworld by competing in He survives day to day in the Ganesh underworld by competing in illegal hybrid blood sports as a hired gun and comparable hunter. So that is freaking cool. Then we got information on number 5, which is Nox, shown in the E3 trailer. We know he goes in without plans and improvises. I think that if I do create a character, I'm highly considering making an ape character, because I don't know. I love apes, and Planet of the Apes is like my favorite franchise out there, right next to Star Wars and Star Trek. So this is cool. And then, got some more pictures and stuff on here. Platforms for release. It says Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So it's looking like this game could come out before the next generation consoles. So that's good. So it says a Switch version will not exist, at least to this very day, and unlikely in the future. To our knowledge, the engine is not ported to the Switch, nor the Switch capable of running such a solar system on the desired draw distances on the Switch. That is simply down to a hardware limitation. If we take Xbox One and PS4 as the baseline, and this is a PS5 version is a option too. So Sony flat out said that they are not delaying the PS5 release, even though PS4 Pro is a thing, therefore making it another platform for this game. So since it is one of the goals to have this game on as many platforms as possible, it's likely to even see a PS5 port. However, this is a vision of the future, blah, blah, blah. PC, Uplay, Steam, Origin, very likely Windows only. At this point, UWP version seems unlikely too. Universal Windows Platform. It is also unclear, he says, how the test versions will be distributed. A demo should be available at the end of the year. If you happen to see this as a locked thread, please recheck back, blah, 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 blah. So he's constantly updating this thread. I'm going to link it down below. Guys, I highly suggest come over, make an account at Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's not my forum. But there's I just want to get people excited, to get people on board with this amazing title that's going to be coming out. And I think it's something that we're kind of ignoring, just because a lot of us remember Beyond Good and Evil, which we're not remembering it as a bad game, but we're just remember it as the game that it was. And so a lot of people just aren't interested. I've had this conversation with some people, like, "Hey, are you excited about Beyond Good and Evil 2?" And they're like, "Nah, Beyond Good and Evil 1 was okay, but I wouldn't really want to see myself playing a sequel to that." So this is it's a game changer. Okay, it's a completely different game. It's like if you're into games like No Man's Sky, Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, where it's like really open and explorable areas and deep lore, deep story, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is the game that I think you should pay attention to. And so that's some of the features that that's out there so far, and I swear we're gonna drill down on some of these and go in depth on some of the planet information and the character customization information, which I think is the character customization for this game is one of the best I've ever seen in any game, period. So that is definitely something to look forward to. Then we're going to go on to ship customization, a video for that. We're going to go on a video for NPCs, a video specifically designed on Ganesh. And then, you know, guys, in a few months, we have E3 to look forward to. So I want to hurry up and get these videos done because I want to be all caught up, because I have a feeling there's going to be a flood of information for this game after E3. And so I'm super excited. Comment down below what you guys think of Beyond Good and Evil 2. And, you know, join the forum, join the Space Monkey program. I'll try and get that link down below too. And as you know, that's all I got for today. As always, I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next Beyond Good and Evil 2 video. Until next time.